Hi everybody, this is Alchemist2 and I'm back again with another movie review. Recently I went to see Saving Mr. Banks, which is about the creator of Mary Poppins. Her name was Pam Travers, and of course we learned quite a bit about how she acquired that name, or surname I should say. I'm not going to go too much into detail about that because it's rather a large plot point when it is revealed, and it's very revelationary, I think. Pam Travers was a very interesting, prickly, particular scamp of a woman, I think. And if you stay around toward the credits, it's very telling as to what type of person she was, because they have an actual audio tape that they play with. She wanted all of her conversations to be audio recorded with Disney Studios, which they did, and Streep was actually very excuse me, not Streep, Emma Watson was actually very canon with all that and very accurate in doing so. It also gives a whole new perspective, I believe, on the type of person that Pam was, and just the people that she met. And there are lots of lessons that are taught within this film, and it's actually a very moving docudrama. And I don't think it's under the label of comedy, and if it is under the label of comedy, it really shouldn't be. It should be drama on the ill effects of alcohol and family life and things such as that. And it just tells the tale of how sometimes we can't have everything we want, and when life pulls the rug out from under us, we have to pick ourselves up by our proverbial bootstraps and move on, so to speak. And from her livelihood, I'm not going to say where she was born and raised, but from the beginning of the film, we know that this is very important to what type of person she is and why she's so blunt and honest and forthright. I think that the movie itself is absolutely one of the best movies I've seen in a good long while. Everything about it is perfect. The casting is perfect. The costumes are perfect. The soundtrack is absolutely splendiferous. She would probably shudder at my use of words. And oh well. I really do think that they did Miss Travers justice, and also Walt Disney, even though Tom Hanks really doesn't look an awful lot like Walt did, but he's actually a distant cousin of Walt, so coincidence? I think not. Without any doubt, I give Saving Mr. Banks 5 stars, hands down. No question in my mind that I would give it that. It's just probably one of the most incredible films that I have seen in a good long while. I won't go too terribly much over what it's all about, although Mary Poppins is one of the main subjects here, but it really surprises you what the film is truly about, and the reason why it has its title. I'm not going to go into much detail on that because, again, huge plot point and no spoiler alerts. It's going to receive awards, I guarantee you this. It is just such a heartwarming and uplifting film. Although half the time I was crying when I watched it. It was that poignant and powerful and just absolutely extraordinary. And it definitely, if you're a fan like I am of Mary Poppins, which I have been my entire life, it's absolute genius. And if you're an Anglophile, you'll get all the jokes as well, because one one of the things that I talked to a friend that lives in Shepherdshire, and that's not too far away from London. Uh, and one of the things that Pam says, it's when Ralph is getting her some tea, and he hands it to her in a plastic cup. And she said, "Oh, goodness, no, you don't. Nobody serves tea in a plastic cup. It's blasphemy." And when I talked to my friend in Shepherdshire, he actually said that putting tea in the microwave should be considered blasphemy as well. And he says, "You colonials don't know how to have proper tea. How to have proper tea, you have to put it on the stove, let it heat, and then allow it to percolate. And then, once the tea is done, you drink it. But good God, don't you put it in the microwave?" And it's just, I thought that was so funny, because I could actually hear him saying that, even though when I say it, it kind of sounds like he's Cockney. He's not Cockney. I gotta work better on my British pronunciations. It's a little bit harder than it sounds, but he's a lot of fun to talk to. If you're going to see a really interesting docudrama and learn so much about the origin of Mary Poppins, and if you like Mary Poppins, and if you're an Anglophile, then I would definitely recommend it. Or if you like Walt Disney, it's another good reason to see it, because you learn quite a bit about Elias Disney, Walt's father, and where he grew up. And actually, it kind of reveals something about him I didn't know. Apparently, Walter had a smoking habit. It actually reveals, it's very subtle in the way it does this, because I never knew he had a smoking habit, but it was his one vice. And at one point in time, he's in his office, and he's putting out a cigarette butt in his ashtray. He says, "This is my only vice, and I leave the door closed so none of the girls know that." I thought, yeah, I'm sure that they can't tell that you smoke a bleeding cigarette, because they probably smell the smoke, you idiot. But, it was probably one of his foibles. He just thought, well, no one can smell the smoke, and yeah, I'm going to be exonerated of all guilt. And Mr. High and Mighty, yeah, he kind of came across as that. And I still love the man, despite his many eccentricities, and genius comes with a lot of that. And we know this. And speaking of which, there's an interesting plot point with Ralph and Pam, but I'm not going to go into it, because it also reveals something about Pam as well, and something that's never mentioned about her, but it actually shows that she really isn't so bitter or sour as we once perceived. It's a very emotional scene. A lot of the scenes are very emotional, so if you do go see it, I do recommend that you take Kleenex with you, because, yeah, it'll get to you. Basically, that's all I have to say about Saving Mr. Banks. It's absolutely incredible. It is by far the best movie I have seen, a docudrama, I should say, in a good long while. And again, Tom Hanks just hits it out of the ballpark, and his portrayal of Walt, I thought, was, dead ringer, even though he really didn't look like him too terribly much. But, just the mannerism, the way he spoke, the way he moved, trying the Missouri slang, I thought that he was very believable. So, still, it's quite the beautiful film, and a real gem. And the true essence of the film is not to worry about what will happen to you, and just to go wherever the wind takes you, and just have faith that you'll end where you need to end, or you'll land on your feet somehow by the grace of God. And there's a lot of spirituality in this film, and it's just absolutely splendid. I think it's just one of those fabulous things that really makes me love this movie all the more.